Met die Deur in den Huis fallen, and welcome to Shift+F1, a podcast about speedy race cars. That, by the way, is Dutch for to fall with the door into the house, which means to get straight to the point. And I'll get straight to the point for all you Dutch listeners. Verstappen crashed out of the Dutch Grand Prix on lap 1, so you can stop listening now. I'm Drew Scanlon, joining me, Danny O'Dwyer. How are you, Danny?
I'm good. Yeah, right at the end of lap 1 as well. Almost like he had some money on it or something. He's like, "Oh no, wait, I'm supposed to crash here."
Oh, you think he went to one of those sites and put a bunch of money down on himself crashing out on lap 1?
Yeah, well, times are tough over at the Verstappen household.
That's
right.
Oh,
wait, no, he signed a new contract. Sorry, I must be talking rubbish.
If you are new to this podcast, a very warm welcome to you. And if you are new to Formula One itself, we recommend listening to our preseason primer episode, which assumes no prior F1 knowledge and explains how the sport works and who everybody is. So if you would like to go back and listen to that, it's episode 338. Also, this show would not be possible without our audience over at patreon.com/shiftf1, where every month we release ad-free versions of the podcast early, along with bonus pods and videos exclusive to our patrons that cover racing documentaries and films, F1 video games, experiment with other racing series, and a lot of weird things. So if you would like to support the show and get access to all that fun stuff, head over to patreon.com/shiftf1 or click the link in the show notes. What is going on this month, Danny?
Oh, we are tackling the highest grossing sports movie of all time, Drew Scanlon.
Wow.
A movie that everyone here will know and have seen. How could you miss it? Right?
Well, Danny, I know how. Perhaps it's difficult to watch?
Perhaps it is difficult to watch. Perhaps it didn't even have, despite being the third movie in a series, did not have a North American or European release. We are, of course, talking about Pegasus 3, the Chinese rally movie, which apparently has outgrossed. What was the previous sports movie? Space Jam? Air Bud? Pegasus 2, exactly. Pegasus 2 and 1. Oh, we'll have to find out. Finding a place to watch this has been...
all I'm seeing when I search Pegasus is a spyware created by the Israeli cyber arms company NSO Group, and
awesome. That's what we're,
iOS kernel vulnerabilities.
Thanks to our new sponsor, the new IDF... Cyber Group.
I wonder if the second one is more viewable or the first one, This is a Chinese rally series.
It is. It is. Point to point.
Here, tvguide.com. What do you got for me? Currently not available to stream. Okay. Great.
Well,
Danny?
Well, legally. Hey, man, copyright doesn't exist.
I've heard China don't care.
China don't care, Drew.
So they
Words
wouldn't care
if we echoed through time. They were as true. They are as true now as they were back then. China don't care. China don't care. They'll be more than happy to have their propaganda spewed over the airwaves.
Yeah, how much there is in these films. All right, we're going to try to figure that out. Because we'd like, the listeners to be able to watch.
I may have figured it out.
Oh.
But I don't want to be linking things.
I see.
In our show notes. But, if you...
Let me Google this for you, listeners.
If you find a URL that has Asian TV and .es in it, maybe they have... That's not me being... weird and racist. That is a clue to somewhere that maybe you can watch Pegasus 3 with English subtitles.
It sounds legit.
It does.
Speaking of legit, our title sponsors, Danny.
Oh, they are just the best. And some of them obviously heard my reaction last week and decided to shorten their names again. So thank you very much. Yes, all of our incredible title sponsor patrons, without whom this would not be possible. We slap their beautiful names all over our beautiful livery. And their names are Zylander Al Gashwari Duplat to produce. Obviously, they did not get the memo. The Military Industrial Complex, War Izzle, R.I.P. Egberto and Igor Furman. That Video Game Podcast. Happy first birthday, Margot Racing. Eaching Wells, Dr. V, Deange, it's a me, Ferrario. Would you kindly race at Sepang? Nicotine pouches. Mojo Nixon. Drew almost spat his coffee out all over himself there. Mojo Nixon, get retro. Was that because that was your trigger word? Was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Get Rich or Die Ryan, Agave ATX, Cypress Training, Turf SES, Michael Maves, Cigarettes, TelemetryDeck.com, FTC, Bottas Calendar 2026, Drew Stewart, The Bortoletto Sympathy Spin, more spoilers, Bailey Foot, Abraham Getchell, Hey Pastor Maldonado, you're part of the Buddy Crimes cinematic universe. Snigs, Alex Goucher, Jeff Foster, Troy Stammer, William Romph, Fancy Triceratops, Lachlan the Maddened Man, Samurai Love Story, and Jason Kelly. Thank you all so much for your incredible support, you beautiful beasts.
Fantastic. Yes, thanks to all of our listeners and all of our patrons and all of our title sponsors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't forget, you get it early. You get it early if you're a patron. I publish it pretty much right away after we record here on beautiful Tuesday morning.
That's right. No, just one. What do you got? A compressor and that's it?
That's it. Yeah, it's the worst quality version. It's straight off. I just put a microphone right here and it just kind of barely hears you.
You're periscoping it right now.
Exactly. No, it is. Oh my God, Periscope. Yeah. Wow. We are old now. Apps that came and went. Didn't I get bought by Twitter or something?
Yes. I periscoped once the entire Bike MS ride.
Oh, wow.
By strapping a phone to my helmet.
That's the fair play.
Yeah. Which, by the way, is coming up, blinkingguy.com, if you'd like to donate to support the National MS Society.
Does that mean that you are once again appearing on Good Morning America?
I just got an email from someone, a journalist. I realized I had to release the Meme Hounds earlier in the year because I would do it like the week of the ride.
Yes.
This charity ride that I do every year.
Yes, by the way, pause right. If you don't know what you was talking about, pause right now and type in, it's biking.
It's blinkingguy.com.
It's Blinking Guy.
I've unified the URLs just to.
You have, and you've gotten rid of the race aspect of the meme's name.
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, it was an I had. I think I still do have Blinking White Guy and BikingWhiteGuy.com.
Just get them all.
I just Facebook, it's cleaner than the Facebook.
Exactly, yeah. But go check that out if you need the important backstory to this. If somehow you've managed to listen to the song and not realize that Drew accidentally became a meme about a decade ago. But sorry, yes, you were doing the news blast.
Right, yeah. So I was doing it like the week of, and then only 7 days later would journalists catch on. Of course, and then I'd be like, the ride already happened. So now I'm doing it, well in advance. So yes.
Early. Is it going to be extra tricky considering you are now a father?
So I'm not writing actually this year, but my team still is. So,
oh, cool. I was about to say that might be particularly considering
newborn twins.
You've got a handful going on there.
I have some things going on. Yeah, this podcast is really the only time of the week I can really carve out. So yes, if you'd like to donate, you can do so over at blinkingguy.com. All right, Danny.
Fair play. How many years has it been now? You've been doing that?
Oh gosh, a while.
And can you tell us the origin story of why you started doing this?
Yeah. So a friend of mine, Katie, has MS, and so does her mom, and so she had been doing the ride for many years before that, so when she was over on the East Coast and when she moved over here, all of our friends started doing it too. And I've been doing it since I think 2016 or 2015.
Wow. Yeah, I was about to say, has it come up? It might be 10 years or something at this stage.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
Fair play. Do you have any idea how much money you've raised in the years that you were doing sponsorship?
Yeah, you're making me open a bunch of tabs here. Try to figure out how long I've been doing it.
Let's crash Drew's machine here. Let's do it. Well, we don't get to talk about it too often, especially ahead of time. So
it's true. Okay. Yes, I started in 2016, and then I raised $5,000.
Nice work.
Which was great. and the numbers have gone up. I've raised over $300,000 so far.
That's wild.
Just by nice folks on the internet donating. So thank you to everyone who has donated so far. And yeah, again, if you'd like to do so, blinkandguy.com. It's the top level domain is actually, it's not a commercial website. It is just a redirect to the National MS Society webpage.
Nice. Yeah, you may be the only person in history who has monetized their random internet fame, because you have internet fame for legitimate reasons alongside this sort of more random element that happened, who has done so in a sort of positive way. You know what I mean? You converted it into raising charitable money, and also whatever the show was it Good Morning America? I've seen, because every year there's like a new spot I've seen you on. You were on Good GMA. What else were you on?
I don't know. There's a BuzzFeed video out there. Yeah,
it's wild. Fair play for both taking ownership of what must have been an incredibly bizarre thing, and then also
still weird.
Yeah, probably still weird. But now you look like a jet pilot, so but you probably don't get recognized in the street.
That's right. The mustache throws them off.
Exactly. Keep them guessing. Keep them guessing.
Speaking of the pilots, I love that in Italian, maybe Spanish, they're called pilots.
Yeah.
Cool. The drivers of these Formula One cars. We got a sprint weekend here in Zandvoort.
Sure did.
Danny, I only had time to prepare notes for the race.
Okay.
But I've got the sprint grid here that we can go down here. So yeah, it's maybe a couple bullet points for the sprint. Let's just go through it. All right. Sprint pole.
Sorry. Yeah, the only thing to mention about sprint quali, if you missed that as well, is Antonelli went off into the gravel during SQ1, and it was kind of hairy. He managed to keep it in, but it was early in the session, dusty track, which rears its ugly head a couple of times over the weekend. And there was a bit of an interesting battle for first, and a very late pole lap for Russell in the end.
Yes, George Russell on sprint pole, Lando Norris second, Charles Leclerc third, Oscar Piastri fourth, and then Kimi Antonelli down in fifth. Apparently that was in SQ1, right, that he ran off?
Yeah.
I heard that he lost 25 points of downforce, which that means 25%, right? When people say points?
In general, yeah, but that seems like that can't be real. Like if you lost 25% of your downforce, that's... Yeah. I guess we're not in the ground effect area, so maybe it doesn't matter as much. But that seems very drastic to lose, especially from the floor. I mean, most of your downforce comes from the wings, surely. If we're not in the ground effect area.
Well,
wow.
Anyway, what do we know? Max Verstappen lines up sixth.
What do we know? We just host an F1 podcast.
We're video game nerds. Lewis Hamilton seventh, Pierre Gasly eighth, Gabriel Bortoleto ninth, and Arvid Lindblad in 10th. In the Racing Bulls, just ahead of Liam Lawson in a Red Bull, replacing the injured Hadjar. He injured his wrist somehow during the summer break. I've not seen how. Maybe it was embarrassing.
He's single. Sometimes self-love's important, and sometimes you overstretch a bit.
Himself replaced by, after Liam Lawson vacating the Racing Bulls seat, Yuki Tsunoda.
He's
back, everyone, jumping into a 2026 car with apparently only a day of simulator work.
Love it.
These cars are pretty different from the last time he drove.
Yes, that's a good point. They are incredibly, they are incredibly different.
And he still put it on 12th in sprint.
Nice work.
Sprint grid. So that's impressive. Not the least impressive part of him for this weekend. Franco Colapinto 13th, Nico Hulkenberg 14th, Esteban Ocon 15th, then Alex Albon, Oliver Behrman, Lance Stroll in the first of the Aston Martins. By the way, they have an upgraded engine this weekend.
They do.
The two Cadillacs of Bottas and Perez, then Carlos Sainz in the Williams, and Fernando Alonso, the other Aston Martin. Sainz and Alonso starting from the pit lane after their cars were modified whilst under parc fermé conditions. Danny, do you want to take us through the start of the sprint and the rest of it?
I need the listeners to have my back here, okay? Because I watched the sprint. I watched I was camping this weekend, and I still managed to
wow.
tune in. Well, it was the Jellystone in Lodi, which is like the least camping you can do. It's, you know, they have like
What is the Jellystone?
Jellystone is like a you know, like a Yogi Bear.
Yes,
Yeah, so it is a
that he called Yellowstone Jellystone.
Jellystone, exactly. Yeah, they are a Yogi Bear themed campsites that are all over America, but the further west you go, the fewer there are. So I think this is the last one west, and the next one's like Colorado, and then there's like 80 of them from like Ohio to you know, the Boston, Massachusetts coast. So but it's all just like concrete slab, full hookups. We brought our trailer. You know, I rode around on a golf cart.
Sick.
Yeah, they have a water park. It was cool. But anyway, they also have terrible internet. But I just about managed to tune in to catch some of this racing. And I need the listeners to be on my side here, because you texted me yesterday saying, I've done all the research. We don't have Rob this week. Rob is on assignment, by the way. I think you forgot to mention him. We haven't erased him from history. He's got a very good excuse for not being here, which I hope we can talk about next week. Yeah. It'll be very, very fun next week. And you texted me and said, do you mind covering the sprint race highlights? And I burst out laughing because, and I'm not even kidding, this race may have been the sprint race in all of my years watching Formula One, might have had the least amount of significant things happen in it in any race I have ever. I could not believe the race we got on Sunday, because the sprint was like nuclear levels of dire. It was like, there was basically one overtake in the entire, well, I guess two. So, okay. So first lap, round they go. Everyone has a great start, no problemo. But Antonelli does manage to get past Piastri at the end of the first turn. So that's up into fourth, I believe. Unless I'm conflating that with, no, I guess I'm not conflating that with the main race. Actually, what's even funnier is, as a joke, I went to watch the highlight package that F1 put out a couple of days later. I watched it last night because I'd seen the race, and I was still stricken by it. All of the comments are, the fact that you got 6 minutes out of this is really impressive, because they literally, to lap 7, they cut to nothing happening and just the commentators talking about maybe there'll be an overtake. Then it cuts to lap 16, nothing happens. They talk about maybe there'll be an overtake. And then we get basically the one overtake of the race, which is on lap 16 for second place, Leclerc. Norris was having like trouble with his rears. I guess this has kind of happened to him in the main race as well. Obviously, it's a sprint, so no one's doing any pit stops. And yeah, he was just having a bit of trouble coming out of that banking as well onto the main straight. And Leclerc gets the jump on him and overtakes him into the first turn fairly easily into second place. And then there was kind of a little bit of a threat of Verstappen on Piastri into the first turn on the final lap on lap 24, but wasn't really on. And then the race ended, and that was it.
Okay.
It was apocalyptically boring. I cannot I was camping. I had nothing better to be. You're watching being bored.
480p Lodi internet.
Exactly, and being bored is the whole point. You're just hanging out, and I was even more bored than if I was just sitting in like my little fold-out chair watching golf carts go by. That would have been more thrilling.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well. Let's get to the result.
Yeah. And I just want you to know, because I was worried when you texted me that Danny's gonna phone this in. He's gonna
No. I watched the sprint. I just did not
you just fell asleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just did not compile rigorous notes. So I knew it was a little light. Yes, George Russell wins the sprint, gets his 8 points. Charles Leclerc second. Lando Norris third, Kimi Antonelli fourth, Oscar Piastri fifth, Max Verstappen sixth, Lewis Hamilton seventh, and Pierre Gasly last of the points paying positions in eighth. Then we got Bortoletto, Lindblad, Lawson, Colapinto, Tsunoda, Ocon, Behrman, Albon, Stroll, Alonso, Bottas, Sainz, Perez, and not classified Nico Hülkenberg. I think he had to pit with some problem. Okay, that's the sprint. We're going to take a quick ad break, and then we will be back with the much better Zandvoort race. All right, Danny, here is the race grid. Different pole sitter in Lando Norris.
Yeah.
Ahead of George Russell in second. Kimi Antonelli in third. Oscar Piastri in fourth. They're all on the medium tires. Basically, everyone else is on softs. Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen. Liam Lawson in eighth, qualified about a tenth of a second off of Verstappen.
Yeah.
And Verstappen had some amazing quote after this. He was like, I guess that just goes to show that these cars are too easy to drive. Someone can just
You're
jump
kidding.
in
Oh my gosh.
What a...
Well, fucking stick to your words, mate, I guess. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, exactly. Gabriel Bortoleto 9th and Arvid Lindblad in 10th. Behind them, Pierre Gasly also on medium tires. Then Yuki Tsunoda in 12th. Consistent. Nico Hülkenberg 13th. Franco Colapinto in 14th. Esteban Ocon in 15th. Those two also on medium tires. And we've got Albon, Sainz, Alonso, Stroll, Behrman, and then the two Cadillacs, Bottas and Perez. Bottas starting on the hard tire. Perez required to start from the pit lane. Okay, everyone. First indication of maybe something different here. We have a drying racetrack. We actually start one lap behind the safety car before doing a standing start. I don't know that I've seen this. They do. So we do the out lap, the sighting lap, I think. Go to the grid. Then we do a formation lap, go back to the grid. Then we do a safety car lap, back to a standing start. And then we actually get the start, Danny.
Yeah, I think this goes back to a couple of years ago when they brought in that rule about let's stop starting behind the safety car without getting back in the grid boxes, because that was sort of the way of things for a long time. And in fact, we saw it twice in this race. We saw them go back to the grid. So I think, unless I'm getting conflated with the Indy one. No, it was this one. So it was...
the Freedom 250?
Yeah, I watched some of the Freedom 250. It was... it's a long race, especially when people keep crashing. There's full course yellows all the time. So the track itself. So the issue, I guess, is that there was a bit of rain. We almost got rain at the end of the sprint race, but it didn't quite happen. And obviously, I think it was 3 years ago now, we had that remarkable Zandvoort race, which was mostly down to there being just like crazy inclement weather for the last 10 laps of the race. So everyone's kind of hoping, wishing we get some of that in here. The issue here is that it's a bit, you have the wetness, but you also have a lot of dust on this track, and it rears its ugly head over the course of this first lap. When they go out, when the lights go out and away they go, the front group are pretty good. There's no overtakes.
Except for Russell.
Russell,
he gets a
sorry.
start.
I'm conflating it with the sprint, of course. Yeah, sorry. Russell has a terrible start. Antonelli gets past Russell, and then Russell ends up sort of holding up Piastri because he blocks up the inside. Piastri tries to get around him. He's right behind him in the grid box behind him. So he holds up Piastri, and then that sort of allows, I guess, is it Leclerc in fourth?
I think Piastri swerves. And that causes like this cascade behind him of movement from Leclerc into Hamilton into Verstappen. They don't touch. Nobody touches, but they all have to juke away from each other. And Verstappen has to dip onto the grass to avoid hitting Hamilton.
And Hamilton almost has a go up the inside of Piastri, but can't quite make it happen. And then there's actually a really nice battle between Lawson and Verstappen, like coming out of that first banking there, side by side, on a dusty part of the track. They managed to get through, and then Lawson backs out and lets Verstappen have it into the next turn.
Yeah, meanwhile, Norris getting away clean up at the front, and Antonelli just behind. However, the final corner of lap one, we are looking down the front straight, and in the background, smoke and tires
into the sky.
In the
I was like, "What? Where did that tire land?" Because they're not supposed to fly off like that.
No. Yes. Cut to Verstappen's car in pieces. Hometown hero, final Zandvoort race out on lap 1. On replay, we see that he dips a wheel onto the inside white line.
He does.
Which has much less grip than the asphalt, causing the rear to lose grip and swing him into the wall. He then bounces across the track into the opposite wall, thankfully avoiding contact with any other cars. Lawson squeezes by, and then Gasly kind of cuts through all the debris bouncing around him. And then in a separate incident at the same place, Bortoleto spins his car.
Yeah.
He said after the fact that he may have been distracted a little bit by Verstappen up ahead. He spins completely around 360 degrees, doesn't hit anything, but it's directly in front of his teammate Hulkenberg.
Oh my God.
And it's just a cloud, right?
Yeah.
It's just like Hulkenberg said after the fact that he basically just had to pick a direction.
You're right.
And went to the left. Thankfully avoided Bortoleto.
Barely.
So they both escape with no damage. In that chaos, Colapinto passed Tsunoda and Lindblad passed Gasly, both under double waved yellows. So they both were handed drive-through penalties. It's usually a stop-go, a 10-second stop-go penalty.
Yeah, that's a killer.
But the stewards were lenient because of the situation.
Yeah, it was wild. Verstappen, just a genuine kind of
surprising.
So yeah, I want to say it's a, the track was dusty, but they're all riding on it. He touches
And
the
wet.
inside line.
And oily, yeah.
Yeah, it was, it's a basic error to be making, I guess. He was unlucky in that when he overcorrected, he basically, the banking maybe to a certain degree didn't help him, but he saved the rear very quickly, which meant that he was then turning himself towards a wall. Yeah. So he kind of binned it that way. Heavy shunt. Glad he's okay. He went to the other side of the track and I think touched the other wall as well. Nobody collected him during that, which is great because that's a scary place to crash because then the wall just pushes you straight back in. Bortoleto kind of lost the rear way quicker than Verstappen did. Mm-hmm. And so the correction, the opposite lock that he put on didn't pull him into a wall. It just, he managed to do a decent job of keeping it on the track, doing a 360 spin. And as you said, Hulkenberg, I was watching the replay of it. And in real time, it's ridiculous. If you slow it down, which is probably a little bit closer to how they perceive this stuff, as you said, it looks like the car is going to the left and then to the right, and then it just disappears like a smoke grenade went off in front of him. So he could not tell which direction it was, and then he goes through the smoke, decides to go left.
It's like Days of Thunder.
Oh my God, it's an incredible save. And again, we've had injuries and deaths in open wheel racing in different formulae for over the years, and it's
most recently with a T-bone.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That was pretty scary.
Yeah, so that's at race pace. It's not great. Cars are moving. It's not a static obstacle, but really great to see both drivers walk away from that because it could have been a lot messier, especially on an opening lap when there's lots of traffic.
Yes, red flag, making everyone go into the pit lane while they clean up the damage. And notable tire changes under this red flag, a rule which it's still allowed by, I looked this up, rule B5144A7. You still need to do 2 compounds in the race, but this allowed Norris to go from medium to soft and Piastri to go from medium to hard. Also notable, when they were letting the cars back out onto the track from the pit lane, at like halfway through, the pit lane went from green to flashing red, the light at the end of the pit lane. Behrman and Bortoleto went through this red light, but Stroll saw it and stopped, and everyone else behind him stopped. Those 2 drivers were handed reprimands instead of penalties,
right?
By the FIA, who said that, quote, neither any advantage was gained nor any potentially dangerous situation or unsafe situation was created.
Presumably this was for support vehicles that were going to be going.
I think it was
somewhere.
Erroneous.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it was a mistake.
Okay.
But still, it's red. You can't go.
Light goes red, you stop.
Before the race can start again, though, Behrman has to park it with a problem. So we get one more formation lap. And then the restart, Danny.
Yeah, so we have is it Antonelli in second with Lando up front, and Antonelli has quickly become sort of a startmeister a little bit. He's pretty good at this. He gets up the inside of Lando, and
it's narrow. Like he is right up against the wall. It's like that when was it Perez along the straight in Spa, where or maybe it was Ocon, just like millimeters.
Right.
Yeah, it's maybe not that close, but it reminded me of that.
And manages to get it stopped, and Lando ends up drifting out into the dusty. I mean, you can literally see the dust getting kicked up when he does, or sand, I guess. So really great start from him. Russell has sort of like a fairly easy first turn because he has a good start as well. But by the time they get around to the banking, Piastri's right on his gearbox, and that ends up bringing Leclerc, I think, is it into the who is it, or is it one of the red? Yeah.
Well, this move, Piastri getting by Russell, I think is the move of the race because he, like you said, Danny, through turn one, nothing happens. But then I don't know what turn this is. Is it 3 or 7 or something? Where it's not a place they usually pass. There are a bunch of drivers in this race that try it here, but Piastri is one of the few that's successful. It's like it's one of those ones where Piastri's got this kind of lateral momentum and Russell hasn't moved yet, but Piastri is anticipating that he will. And as soon as he does, sweeps by him. It's just a great move.
Is this not between turn 1 and turn 2 where he does it there?
Maybe.
He gets it. I don't know what happened to Russell's grip, but yeah, Piastri just looks like he just gets all of the grip, and yeah, makes it stick pretty well.
Yeah, Russell fades a little more from there, and finally does come in for a pit stop on lap 18. Piastri pits a lap later to cover off the undercut from Russell, but it is a slow stop, and Piastri comes out.
I think it's rear right, just doesn't get on, and like it was the one thing he didn't need to do. Like he was trying. That was literally why he was pitting, and he lost like I think it was 2.8 or something like that. The commentator said,
it's not good.
Killer
commentary. By the way, did you watch the Sky feed?
Did I watch the Sky feed live, and then I was on? Yeah, and I've subsequently rewatched the extended highlights on regular.
Right. Harry Benjamin filling in for David Croft on Sky, and look, I know play-by-play is hard. I think I gained a lot more respect for
Crofty.
For Croft. Yeah. I think it's a thankless job, the play-by-play, but Benjamin did mention twice that it was Lawson's first race for Red Bull, seemingly forgetting that who did the first 2 races in that seat last year.
Right.
So, yeah, I get it. It's tough. By the way, tons of slow stops, right? Most of the pit stops were slow. I don't know if there was like something going on with the sea air.
The sand.
Yeah.
It's like replacing, when you're replacing a lens and you're near a beach, you're like twice as, you got to be real careful.
Turning your back into
100%. Yeah.
I wonder if it's like, I think in another race, it would have been more notable, but because everyone was slow, nothing, it wasn't highlighted, except for, Piastri's was very, very slow. So that's why he lost out.
And they are somewhat slower because of some of the new regulation stuff, but they've been getting faster throughout the season. But yeah, I guess you're right. I guess they were a little bit slower than usual.
Lap 27, great scrap between, let's see, starting with Sainz. We got Sainz, Lindblad, Gasly, and Hulkenberg. Gasly goes for it on Lindblad, but kind of overcooks it and leaves himself vulnerable to Hulkenberg, who gets by Gasly and then challenges Lindblad around the outside of turn 1, swooping by with authority. And I will say it again, I think Audi is the most impressive team to me this year. They are punching above where Sauber was.
Yeah.
And they have it's the first year of their own power unit that they developed.
Yeah, and it seems like they got a bit of an upgrade for this weekend as well. I feel like I've seen that Gasly mess up and get overtaken thing a lot of times. You know what I mean? I feel like if I had a bingo card, I would have maybe completed it by now. On that
a lap later, he is also overtaken by Tsunoda.
Yeah.
Also impressive, but jumping into that new regulation car and getting racy. Lap 34 was coming for a while, but this is when Leclerc gets by Piastri with a savage up and under move into fourth place.
Great overtake, yeah.
And then 1 lap later, Piastri's passed by Hamilton in the same spot. Those hard tires on Piastri just not working for him. Sort of a late move.
I was
from
about
Piastri.
to say, yeah. When I saw this live, I was like, "Oh, Hamilton's not going to like that." He pulls to the inside on the straight. Kind of late, and also, I don't know. Like he was getting gobbled. Like you could, there was a tire mismatch. This was halfway down the straight, and Hamilton already had the run on him. I just thought it was a very strange thing to do, like a desperate move more than anything else. But yeah, he jukes to his right and kind of evens off and lets Hamilton pass. But yeah, I thought that was. I was kind of surprised he was close. I think if Hamilton had to hit the brakes, there would have been a penalty there for that one.
Yeah. Around lap 42, it is apparent that Hamilton is faster than Leclerc, who is on mediums that are older than Hamilton's hard tires. Ferrari apparently tells Leclerc to pit, but he doesn't want to, thinking that he'll lose out to Russell. So he stays out for one more lap. Hamilton is furious at this, radioing, "We're just losing time." He finally does pit, I think a few laps. No, I'm sorry. Leclerc does on lap 44, I think. And with some more pit stops, Hamilton then inherits the lead on his hard tires. And there's some speculation that he might try to go to the end or wait for a safety car. And there's 72 laps here. So we're talking about like 30-ish more laps on those hard tires. But on lap 51, Antonelli is just a second and a half behind Hamilton, and Norris is just 0.7 back from Antonelli. On newer tires, Antonelli complaining about his rears. And 3 laps later, Norris makes his move into turn 1. Antonelli kind of trying to, I don't know if he's defending from Norris or trying to take on Hamilton, but Norris goes the other way around, squeezes by Antonelli into second place, and then later on that same lap gets by Hamilton to retake the outright lead of the race. Solid race by Norris so far. Yeah, Antonelli.
But we'll see if there's another dice to be rolled in this one, because like you said, it seemed like there was very little chance of there being any type of safety car, but we kind of got one.
Yeah, Hamilton rolling the dice, staying out there, suffering on those old tires. Antonelli getting by him for second. Until lap 55, Esteban Ocon parks his Haas with a problem, bringing out the virtual safety car. So Hamilton absolutely comes in.
So does Leclerc.
Double stacking. Along with Antonelli from second, who comes out in third behind his teammate Russell, and ahead of Hamilton in fourth. During the yellow flag for Ocon, here we go again, both Colapinto and Lawson failed to slow down for the yellow flags, earning them both 10 seconds.
Was there an overtake here as well? Was there, who? Oh no, it was Gasly.
I don't think so. That may have been first lap, but they both, got 10-second penalties. This is the second time for poor Colapinto. On the restart, Gasly gets a run on Tsunoda on the inside.
That's what I was thinking about. Gasly on Tsunoda. Yeah, great overtake. This was onto turn 1. Yeah.
Yeah, sealing the deal for 10th place. And then lap 66, Russell in second is told to invert the cars. That is, let Antonelli through. He had initially broadcast a message saying, "Hey, let's think about the team here," which I interpreted as, leave Antonelli in third so he can defend me against Hamilton. Mercedes does not do that and instead leaves Russell to fend for himself on old tires.
Number 2 driver, baby. It's happened. It's happened, baby brother. Baby brother's the favorite child now. Sorry. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, he got out of the way though. He didn't fight it. I think it was probably the right call as well, given Antonelli's pace. But a couple of laps later, if you thought maybe there was misgivings between teammates in that in that situation. Enter the Williams boys.
Yeah, lap 68. Sainz and Albon are both going into turn one side by side when Sainz on the inside locks up, does not turn, therefore. So Albon just bangs into him, scattering pieces of his car across the track. This earns Sainz a 10-second penalty. And does that also bring out a brief virtual safety car? I think so.
I don't know, but Albon retires as well.
Yeah, I think after the race, I saw something that they were like, it was, no bad blood. But in the closing stages, all eyes were on whether Hamilton could get past Russell into third place. He has a look at turn one on the final lap, and then Leclerc nearly rear ends Hamilton.
Rear ends him.
Corners later. In the end, Russell holds Hamilton off, and after the race, Russell does explain that his tires were so bad, Antonelli would have gotten him anyway, so the team orders were the right call.
Saving
for
face.
Mercedes, anyway. Lando Norris wins the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Ahead of Kimi Antonelli in second and George Russell in third. Lewis Hamilton still heated.
Yeah.
He could have had third had he not lost that time behind Leclerc. What do you think, Danny?
I saw the reports after the race. I would have to go back and look at the data. Yeah, I guess he's annoyed he didn't get his podium. I don't have a scientific answer for that one. I'm not sure. A lot of stuff happened in this race. I get that's how they. Leclerc also had to double stack behind Hamilton. Like there's so much stuff that went in different directions on this one.
Right.
So we had a lot of retirements.
Strategies.
Weirdly, it was like 6 of them.
Leclerc finished fifth, followed by Piastri sixth, Lawson seventh, Hulkenberg eighth, Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin finishes ninth again with that upgraded engine. That's 2 points for them. And Pierre Gasly, again, last of the points-paying positions, just ahead of Yuki Tsunoda in 11th, followed by Lindblad, Bortoleto, Colapinto, Perez, and Sainz is the last of the finishers. Then we've got Albon, Bottas, Ocon, Stroll, Behrman, and Verstappen. DNFs.
He will want to forget this weekend, let me tell you. It's not how he saw it. But hey, look, all those McLaren fans, all the orange fans in the stands, at least they got what they wanted,
That's right. They really turned out. All right, that is it for the Dutch Grand Prix. Shall we take it to the news, Danny?
There is some limited news.
Yeah. Really here, we're talking contracts,
baby. Contracts.
The silly season that we thought might happen if Verstappen changed teams. Well, that's not happening.
No.
So
extended through 2030. So he had a 2028 deal. So he's got 2 more years stuck on it. We should mention that F1 driver contracts are worth the money they're printed on in many ways. If a driver wants out, it's very difficult to step in the way. Knowing Verstappen's contracts, he probably has a lot of clauses that allow him to break this contract if, for instance, Red Bull are not in a title fight. So I'm sure he probably had one of those clauses this year. So yeah, he's obviously extended for a couple more years. I think it's the right decision. I don't think jumping ship at this stage, everything's still in flux. Next year, I suspect we're going to have a very different grid, and probably the year after that as well, given all these reg changes that are incoming. So I think this is a pragmatic response. He wasn't going to leave the sport, I don't think. And I also don't think that if he was signing this contract precludes him from doing so again if he really, really felt like he wanted to this time. So yeah, I think it makes sense.
A little surprised.
Are you?
Yeah, just because looking at the rest of the grid, we've got a lot of like multi-year contracts through 2026 and some through 2027. But looking at places that he may want to go, Mercedes nominally at least has their drivers through this year. Although it seems that their contracts will probably have some +1 stuff, and they seem to be doing all right. McLaren's drivers are through at least 2027. But again, his previous one, Verstappen's, was through 2028. So I don't know. Perhaps they gave him
All the money.
incredible amounts of leeway, and money.
Yeah, maybe there was a good negotiating partner on the other side of I mean, because Red Bull's had so much turnaround, obviously public, but also privately. There's been lots of people leaving, so maybe they got a particularly good deal out of it. Maybe they got particularly good terms out of it. It's always so hard in these situations to sort of figure out exactly the motivations. But it seems to me like, I know there's a lot of like stuff in flux, but I don't know if spiritually he's a Mercedes driver. Like, I think that to me always felt a little bit off. And I also think that regardless of like the Russell stuff that's everyone's been talking about, I think the other three teams have really solid 1-2 drivers. Like or two drivers, even if it's 1-1. I think they're all in a good spot. So I think Verstappen's in.
Any of them would drop anyone for Verstappen.
But I still think they will in a year or two. Like, and he'll be able to break that. Like I am.
You think
sure
the contract, this extension is flimsy?
I think it's as flimsy.
I'm with you until I don't want to be.
I think it'll have the same. It's as flimsy as it is right now, I bet. Which is, I assume it has. If we are not in a certain position by the summer break, I can walk. Yeah.
So this means nothing.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a statement of intent more than anything else. It gives Russell a bit of breathing room. Obviously, not that it seemed to help much this weekend. So yeah, but I no, it's F1 contracts. We've seen, over the years just how, especially if you're like Verstappen is such a special case. He can go where he wants, and I'm not surprised given how much tumult we are likely to expect in the fates of various teams over the next 2 seasons. Because we're just in a weird little pocket of change after change with the regs, and I think there's going to be a lot of change.
Speaking of weird little pockets, are you surprised that both Sainz and Albon have committed again to
Little
Williams?
Bit. Yeah, maybe less so at Albon. The Sainz really has turned himself from a possible title challenger into a mid-pack guy. Like, this.
I mean, but that's where he is.
It is, and he was on the wrong side of some unlucky driver move situations, and maybe to a certain extent we expect this of his because of his family name and whatnot. But like, I'm not going to argue with this decision by both of them. I think pragmatically it makes sense. Albon's is only until the end of next season, I think. Anyway,
yeah, that one was a little weird because he had previously. His contract was previously through 2027, but I guess it was like a multi-year thing. And so he has now like kind of reaffirmed that he will be there through 2027.
Maybe that was the plus one, maybe.
Is a multi-year through at least 2028.
Yeah.
I mean, again, looking at the where everyone else is locked up, this kind of makes sense because everyone else is there until at least 2027. Or at least at the kind of top-ish teams.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and maybe I find it difficult. I would find it difficult as a driver to. Here I am wearing my Williams hat, but if James Vowles, who I love, was like, "Listen, it's gonna be awesome," because I imagine that's what he said. Before 2026.
Yes, exactly.
And then this year has been like, there's been some circumstances that have, led to blah, blah, blah. So I would worry about trusting that.
We're all waiting.
But where are you going to go?
We're all waiting and hoping for the Williams glow up. And we've had a couple of they're doing better now than they were 5 years ago, for sure. But I think that's ultimately, we are in a bit of a stalemate, and there's so much young talent coming up taking these big numbers. Like a couple of years ago it would have been, I guess Sainz was in a Ferrari and whatnot, but like we're seeing that penetration of younger drivers I think, generationally now in a way that we really did not. Like, it used to be that they all were Lawsons and Albons who came in on the smaller teams and built their way up, and we just see them get launched into the main team so much quicker now. Yeah, look at like even McLaren, like, not, you know, those guys are still young. You know what I mean? Like, Piastri's young,
Yeah.
Norris is young. You know, he's got a lot of experience, but like, yeah, and then yeah, so I think it's just a really tough era of F1 to be in if you're someone like Carlos Sainz, because your age starts to work against you way faster in this epoch, especially when we keep having these significant regulation changes, because while you can bring in a lot of experience, it's not the same. It's not the same as in the 90s where, you know, you just you felt that connection to the car and the track, and that they didn't change too dramatically. You know, every 5 years they weren't wildly different experience. You know, we're talking about Yuki Tsunoda stepping in an F1 car for the first time in 6 months, and it's a totally different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a tricky epoch for drivers like him in particular. I still think that there's a very good chance that he has a later career, second half of his career surge somewhere. And that's ultimately what it's all about. You know, Verstappen pinned it into a wall today. That Red Bull's not racing for titles this year. You know, it's so much of F1 is down to what's under the hood. And right now, a lot of drivers are suffering because of that.
Yeah, in that respect, I think I consider this as, you know, a good get for both of them. You know, Williams and
the teams,
the two drivers. You know, I think Williams has they've locked down some solid talent. Yeah, some dependable talent instead of kind of rolling the dice with a rookie or something.
But who
And
will just get snapped
guys,
up anyway, you know?
Well, right. Yeah. And these guys, as you say, Danny, aren't getting any younger and have nowhere else to go. So I'm sure they appreciate having a job. All right. Well, after Zandvoort, let's go down the standings here. Kimi Antonelli still in first place with 242 points, ahead of George Russell now in second with 183, tied on points with Lewis Hamilton in third. Lando Norris in fourth with 159, and Charles Leclerc fifth with 155. Max Verstappen, that weekend didn't help him. He's now or he's at least further afield in sixth with 112 to Leclerc's 155. Oscar Piastri closing up to him in seventh with 104. Then a good gap down to Isaac Hadjar, who also failed to score any points because he was not in the race.
Yeah.
He's in eighth with 68 points. Liam Lawson in ninth with 49. Pierre Gasly in 10th with 44. Arvid Lindblad is 11th with 23. Franco Colapinto in 12th with 19. Oliver Behrman in 13th with 18 points. Gabriel Bortoleto in 14th with 10. Hulkenberg in 15th with 6, tied on points with Carlos Sainz in 16th. Alex Albon in 17th with 5. Esteban Ocon in 18th with 3, tied on points now with Fernando Alonso in 19th. And then Yuki Tsunoda in 20th, 0 points. Lance Stroll 21st, Valtteri Bottas 22nd, and Sergio Perez 23rd, all with 0 points. Mercedes is on top of the Constructors' Championship with 425 points. Ferrari is in second with 338. McLaren in third with 263. Red Bull Racing, fourth place with 186. Racing Bulls is in fifth with 66, just ahead of Alpine in sixth with 63. Gene Haas team in seventh place despite that double DNF from Zandvoort with 21 points. Audi in eighth with 16. Williams in ninth with 11. Aston Martin in 10th now with 3 points. And Cadillac 11th with 0. In the official Shift F1 Fantasy League, which you can join using the link in the show notes. Mm-hmm. From the Dutch Grand Prix, so you probably won't, win the championship here if you join the Shift F1 Fantasy League, but you can still get into the podium positions per race. And
yes.
So here's the podium from the Dutch Grand Prix in Fantasyland. In third, No Good Car Ideas. In second, Catalunya Wine Mixer.
Do you know the Catalina Wine Mixer?
No, no.
It's from Step Brothers.
Oh.
Do you remember? They're like,
Oh, that's good.
yeah. My wife went to Catalina Island last year.
I've been there. It's cool.
You have? Yeah. And
it's
I
weird.
was like, if you see a shirt that says Catalina Wine Mixer, please God, get me that. That's great now.
And in first from the Dutch Grand Prix weekend, Budget Boy with 414 points. Overall,
I think it's Bouget. He's French.
We've
Bouget
had a swap around in the podium.
Oh my God.
Overall.
Oh my gosh. The championship lead.
Falling to third place, Fan Amp Fantasy HQ. And in second, Cigarettes.
Wow.
But
Take
still,
it. What's winning? Vapes.
hanging in first, the Macarena will never die.
It won't die, right?
All right. As I said, you can join the fantasy standings using the link in the show notes. You can also send us an email, shiftf1podcast@gmail.com or f1.cool/emails. We will have an email episode next week.
Electronic mail coming
That's
to
right.
you. Electronically.
Hot new thing.
We are nothing. Hot electronic mails. hotelectronicmails.com.
I'm all about email these days, Danny. I don't know about you. I can't do social media anymore. I found a service called Still,
Okay.
which will collate any link that is shared on your Blue Sky feed
Ooh.
and just collect an email for you. So I don't have to look at Blue Sky ever.
So it just gives you the links.
it just shows me Danny shared this Steam page. Check it out.
Check out this weird indie game Danny's talking about.
Yep.
But you're not listening. Look, the point of social media is it's a town square for people who have an immediate thought to unfiltered put it out into the world and hope that they feel better. So so you're missing all of those. You're only getting ones that have useful information in them. What are you doing?
Still log on to Twitter. X the everything.
Twitter's
app.
bad, man. X
Dude,
is, like I have 100,000. I mean, my
I have
follower,
to do it to tweet about or whatever, post about the podcast. So I log into the Shift+F1 Twitter account to schedule like, hey, our episode's up, or like here's the race schedule, and I only see like above the fold of the feed before I hit new post, and it's the worst. It is awful. It is always terrible.
Do you know what it's like? It's like if you were like a mail carrier for like the 7th circle of hell, and you like, you have to like open the door to throw the package in, and as you open the door, it's just like people writhing and screaming and freaking. Exactly, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, just get the post out, like close it, and then run away. Yeah, it's. Like I have a pretty high tolerance for internet nonsense. Like I've grown up on the internet. I ran message boards. Like I'm okay. I swim in them waters, but Twitter is just an absolute. And I've like over 100,000 followers. And like now, if I post something on there, maybe this is part of the problem. I post something on there, I get like 10 engagements on it. Like I think I got like soft blocked for being like a lefty or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's wild. It's
and Blue Sky, like I curated my feed. I follow, people I like.
Yeah.
And still it's just people complaining. I just don't need the energy, people.
It's tough. It's tough out there.
Give me your links and I'm good.
I pop on Twitter just to see how everyone's doing. This because like as well, like a lot of Americans don't use Twitter anymore, but like the Europeans, they're all still on there. So like half the game dev world is like, I have to go over there to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And,
if I didn't have this fundraiser thing, which Twitter is responsible for a lot of it.
Yeah,
I would delete it all. There
you go.
Also, RSS is great. I had an RSS reader, but I found myself like compulsively going and checking that too. So I found a service called Blog Tracker, I think it is. You just put an RSS feed in there.
These are all like companies, shell companies.
Trotter, I think is
Blog Trotter, mate.
You put an RSS feed in there, and then it sends you just an email with all of the.
Drew's love language is getting a fucking email, is what I've learned.
You know why? Because I hit delete and then it's done. I don't have an infinite scroll.
That's a good point. But then, how will you know about the latest Fox News shouting about Hassan Piker? You know, you need to keep on top of this stuff, Drew.
Danny, I work for Twitch. I get enough of that. Thanks.
Fair point.
All right. That's us around the... You can follow the socials if you want. We still do run the socials for the Shift F1 podcast account.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm on all the time, even if I'm playing.
Listen, I don't judge anyone for still being on there, right? Like
No.
It's you know, if you have a normal feed, it's
I don't
a
kink
legitimate
shame.
way to get You know, if you're on Instagram, you can follow us and get the schedules for the weekend. Using the link in the show notes.
Thanks for making it, Drew.
Yeah, that's us around the internet. Should we take it around the world, Annie?
Let's race around the world.
The World Rally Championship is the championship.
Championships. Finally, they're putting
monkeys are driving the
monkeys
car.
in there. Yeah, great. Well, not monkeys, apes, but you know. Sorry,
mistake.
biologists.
My
Jesus
mistake.
Christ.
Encarnacion, Paraguay for Rally del Paraguay. Sounds fun.
Paraguay. That was me at the World Cup wearing my Paraguay shirt, pretending I'm Paraguayan. Inciso.
The NASCAR O'Reilly Series is at the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona. Let's go away to conflicting results here.
What we got?
My calendar says it's the Wawa 250.
Oh, we love the Wawa 250.
But the official website says it's the Winn-Dixie 250 powered by Coca-Cola.
At least it wasn't the Sheets 250. That would have been really difficult to take for the Wawa fans.
Aren't those competing
They are.
stores?
They are competing popular gas stations
Right.
on the East Coast.
So
you've got Sheets and Wawa.
But Winn-Dixie also, right?
I don't know what Winn-Dixie is. Is that might be? I never crossed the Mason-Dixon.
Okay.
Don't know. Maybe I don't know what they're doing down there.
Get your rings of power on because MotoGP.
Aragon.
Where is that? It's in Turiel, Spain.
Turiel, Spain. You bow to no one.
Also sounds a little.
It does.
Turiel. Yeah. That's Andariel's. It's not Andariel. Isn't that from Diablo 2?
Tamriel.
That's Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
All right.
Nerds.
IndyCar is in Wisconsin at the Milwaukee Mile.
It's like we're a Lord of the Rings, Wisconsin. We have to go to the mines of Wisconsin.
Mining cheese. What is that one? The IndyCar schedule. That race name is not coming through on my calendar.
I was when I was camping, I met some people.
Why, Danny? It's the Snap-on Makers and Fixers 250.
Snap on.
Snap it on.
That's a good point. Sorry, I started an anecdote. Now I have to stop it so it doesn't annoy people. It's not a very good anecdote, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I met some people who were had a beautiful dog. It was like a Shiba or something, and I was like, "Oh, where'd you get that dog from?" And they were like, "Oh, we found somebody online. It was a guy from Wisconsin who delivered cheese." I was like, "Oh, cool. That's cool. Nice." I guess everyone's just exceptions that prove the rule.
Yeah. We got NASCAR.
Yeah.
Also in the hallowed grounds of Daytona.
Daytona.
For the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
Coke Zero Sugar. Man,
Yep.
It's for men who like cars.
I'll tell you what, having a kid has drastically increased my Diet Coke consumption.
Oh, yeah. So I'm guessing having two kids even drastically.
Oh, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
It's really doubled. I got to call John Drake for help.
Yeah. I'm hopelessly addicted.
All right. That's what happened, or that's what's happening.
So what's
this
happening?
upcoming weekend. Danny, what happened this day?
This day in the
history?
past. That's the name of this segment. August 25th.
Doing the Daytona for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Day in the past. In 1991, Bertrand Gachot was driving an F1 for the new Jordan team, but he was jailed for assaulting a London cabbie the year before. Classic. This is great. Like,
this is what F1 drivers used to be like, by the way. Last week we were talking about how they're all boring. They used to just be belligerent jerks.
Well, he joined the Irish team and he was like, what do Irish people do? We attack British people. So, it made sense. No one could have foreseen the ramifications this would have for F1. Eddie Jordan turned to young German driver Michael Schumacher to fill the seat for the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa on this day, and he astounded the paddock by qualifying the slow car in 7th position. A clutch problem ruined his race, but he had already announced his arrival. Yes, Eddie Jordan talks a lot about how he gave Michael Schumacher his debut. As founder and principal of the Tyrrell team, Ken Tyrrell was the senior member of the partnership with his driver, Jackie Stewart, that delivered 3 world championships in the 60s and 70s. On this day, in 2001, Uncle Ken passed away at his home in Surrey. Stewart led the tributes and said, Ken was the most important person in my life outside of my family. Without Ken Tyrrell, I would not be where I am today. There you go.
Tyrrell, a mainstay of past Formula One. What did Tyrrell become?
Is Tyrrell also the name of the evil company in the Alien universe? Tyrell?
It's Wayland Yutani.
Mr. Tyrell? It is Wayland Yutani, you're right. Why am I...
Is it maybe Blade Runner?
Oh, maybe. It is.
Okay. Tyrrell's
Yes,
legacy
you're right, it
continues
is.
as the Mercedes
Blade Runner.
F1 team, who is Tyrrell's descendant through various sales and rebrandings as BAR, Honda, and Braun GP.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Wikipedia. All right. Well, that's it for the Dutch Grand Prix. We will be back next week for the pre-Monza show.
Pre-Monza!
And Rob's adventures.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. And send us emails, shift.f1podcast@gmail.com or f1.cool/emails. Final thoughts, Danny?
That weekend was a real roller coaster, kind of like the track itself. Bye-bye Zandvoort. I won't necessarily miss it. It's given us a couple of good races. But I just think the cars are the wrong shape and size for this one. Inauspicious final race for Verstappen. I feel bad for the Dutch fans and for him. But yeah, I guess I would feel less... I would feel better about them not doing Zandvoort, though, if it wasn't just going to get replaced by some, crappy American street circuit or Petro State situation, I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. Bring back Sepang, let's get back to Portimao. There's great tracks out there, folks. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Sad for the Dutch fans, although they do take over both Spa and the Red Bull Ring pretty good, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you would like to support the show and get access to all of our bonus episodes, the early ad-free version of the podcast, and the official Shift+F1 Discord, you can do so at patreon.com/shiftf1. Have a great race weekend, everyone. We will see you all next week.